Okay, I want to cover one more project and maybe take a little time in doing that. DBE is a problem. I won't say a problem nationally, can be problematic. And setting it up in DesignBuild is important, not only for federal highway, but also for the state DOTs administering the DBE program within a DesignBuild contract. So what makes DBE with DesignBuild different? Why is it so challenging to implement fairly the DBE program with DesignBuild? In a traditional process, we've got 100% complete design, right? Quantities, contractor can look at the quantities, know what works he wants to sub out, what work could be done by DBEs. Everything's clear on day one when he submits his bid proposal, what can and should be done by DBEs. What's the difference with DesignBuild? No quantities, right? No design. Minimal design. So if you're the contractor submitting a proposal, technical and price, how do you anticipate the use of DBEs will be done? How do you anticipate that'll affect your prices? That's the challenge with DesignBuild, both from the contractor's viewpoint and from the owner's standpoint. With the US DOT DBE reg that was issued several years ago, it asked for commitment and identification of commitments. And that's been changed over the years such that the contractor needs to submit a commitment at the time of bid proposal. How can he do that with DesignBuild when he doesn't even know what the design is or the quantity is, or what subcontractors might be working on the job? It's truly challenging from both the industry and from the state DOT's viewpoint to administer these projects. So we don't know the design, we don't know the quantities. It's lump sum in nature. We don't have unit prices to use as the basis for DBE contracts. It's more difficult for the owner to apply the traditional DBE compliance when they're going out and doing reviews of a DBE compliance with the prime contractor. And for large, super large contracts, it presents some really unique challenges. Just as an example, New York State DOT, and it's not the state DOT themselves, but there's a project in the New York area, Gothel's Bridge. It's a public-private partnership. They have TIFIA funding, which is our involvement, so it's a federal loan assistance. We're providing a loan to the developer. They will pay back the loan over a series of years, so after 10 years or 15 years, the federal interest, monetary interest in that project is zero. On the other hand, anytime there's federal aid, federal loan assistance of any type, federal aid requirements apply. So we have this $2 billion Gothel's Bridge replacement project done by a developer, not by a state agency, by a private developer, a concessionaire that has multiple parties involved. They've borrowed money from various sources. It's a toll road project, and they have subcontracting tiers at the second level, the third level, fourth level, and even a fifth level of subcontracts underneath the prime design builder. So you can imagine how complex and convoluted the contracting chain is in this. And then the prime contractor is not making payments on time to multiple subs. And the multiple subs have taken their failure to pay for work completed complaints to the various courts. So they're not complying with our DBE requirements for prompt payment. And the state, not the state, the design builder and the administering agency, who is a public-private partnership, has compliance issues, not only with the prime, but lower-tiered subs. So you can see how these can be very messy once you get into these large contracts in which a state agency is not involved or administering the contracts. So DBE compliance is a major challenge for our civil rights staff in certain states with these large mega projects, and can be very challenging in a design-build environment. What has worked in some states, now these are just suggestions, including provisions in the RFP document for quality management plans for the DBE program. Make the contractor, the proposers, tell you how they're going to obtain their DBE commitments throughout the life of the project. If you're going to include a DBE contract goal, make them tell you when and how they're going to meet those goals throughout the life of the contract. Make them tell you how they're going to ensure that they have they're complying with commercially useful function requirements. Make them tell you if they're going to substitute a DBE that they originally proposed as part of this plan, if they're going to substitute a firm for that. Make them tell you their process for substitution for that DBE firm. So have them identify as part of the proposal process their plan moving forward for meeting the DBE commitments. Put that responsibility back on the design builder through this quality management plan. And Jeff will talk more about this afternoon, but this is just another way of setting yourself up for success, making sure the design builder has that risk for achieving compliance with the RFP requirements, and then that you have some document available to say you're complying with what you submitted in your quality control plan. We have the basis for accepting what you're doing and accepting it as part of the RFP requirements. So it's so key to set up yourself for success, not only in DBE, but some of these other areas too. Quality, contract compliance, construction materials. It's just a way to do that in the RFP process.